Okay. So welcome. Introduction to Reiki. Um, like I told Jordy, I have only been a Reiki practitioner for about the last 2 years. And so I'm still learning, along with you guys. So I think it'll be, kind of cool for all of us to like go through the process together up to me becoming a Reiki master, which is going to be a little while, but still got, time, and really just depending on who you're learning your Reiki from. Some say, within 3 months of your second, Reiki, once you become a Reiki 2 practitioner, like within 3 months, within 6 months, within 2 years, 1 year. It just depends on, but for me, I feel like I still have so much to learn about Reiki that I'm not in a place where I feel like I could become a Reiki master right now at this point. I just feel like there's still so much for me to learn about it. So I'm still kind of stumbling through it as well. So it'll be fun for everybody to stumble through it with me. So did it go forward? It didn't go forward. Go forward. It did not go. Okay. So there's 5 ethical principles of Reiki. Just for today, do not anger, do not be anxious, be filled with gratitude, devote yourself to your work, be kind to all living things. And I can tell you that since I started Reiki, I was one to like quickly kill, especially spiders, because I'm absolutely terrified of them. But now I'm more willing to be like, okay, you stay in your space and I'll stay in my space. And as long as you don't bother me, I won't bother you. And I let them live, and just try not to, just try to have the attitude that all living things are here for a reason, and they have a reason to be here, and they have every right to live and, do life just like we do, so it's not up to us to decide if they live or die just because they happen to be in our space. And gratitude also. I think that I've gotten better with being grateful and, waking up and being like, today I'm grateful for this or I'm grateful for that, and just trying to start my day positively instead of, waking up and thinking about all the 900 million things that I have to do that day. So maybe I'm teaching. You can show me that later. Okay, so Reiki is a Japanese word that means universal, and let me try to talk, universal life force energy. Rei stands for natural force or universal force. Ki, like chi and ki, stands for the unseen, non-physical, life-supporting energy that is found in and around everything. So, oh shoot, I can't see the whole thing there because our faces are in the way. Can I move those or do something with them?
So I usually there's a little minimizer if you like hover on
Over the top.
the column. Yeah. And I usually just hide everybody. So
Okay, that's what I just did. Okay,
yeah.
now I can see it.
Yep.
Okay, so Reiki is a non-invasive natural method that accesses this energy, the universal life force, to heal the spirit, mind, emotions, and body. It consists of 5 principles that guide one to wellness, a set of hand positions for treating the self and others, and the channeling of Reiki energy through practitioner to client. Reiki is useful for treating any illness and injury, including cancer, heart disease, insomnia, headaches, cuts and bruises, broken bones, lack of self-esteem, and confidence, and so on. It can be used effectively in conjunction with other therapy treatments and can speed up recovery time. Studies show Reiki stimulates the relaxation response. So, before I started doing Reiki, I was having like pain in my elbows that was so bad that I was actually starting to lose the grip strength in my hands. Like I couldn't turn my hands, like if I turned my hands inward, I would literally, like, my hands would just let go. Like I didn't have any control over holding on to things because my elbows hurts. Any kind of a gripping motion would, I mean, it was excruciating. My elbows hurt so bad. So I'm not a big fan of I don't like pills. I don't like, I try to do things more naturally. And I started reading about Reiki. And so once I did my first atonement with Reiki, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see how this, what this does, how this works. And so every night for probably about 3 weeks, when I would go to bed at night, I would just like hold my elbows and I would just do Reiki on my elbows every night when I went to bed. And I couldn't tell you exactly how long it took, but I know that just one day I was like, oh shit, my elbows don't hurt anymore. And I was like, oh my God, like I have grip strength. And I mean, it was crazy. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I have not had any pain in my elbows at all since. And that could partly be because I do Reiki on myself every day. But I've had no pain whatsoever in my elbows since I did that. And about a week ago, my youngest started running fever. My husband and my husband were laying in bed. We were watching a movie and she was running fever. And I was like, I don't really want to give her any medicine. And so my husband, who was just kind of starting this energy journey, I was like, just put your hands on her with me. And I did Reiki and I just asked for the fever to be taken away. And I'm not kidding y'all, within about 30 seconds, her fever was completely gone. Like the fever was gone. She felt good. It was crazy. Like it still amazes me when it works. And I know that sounds crazy to say, but it still just blows my mind when I'm like, wow, like it's crazy. So it's definitely very helpful, I found so far, in treating things like fever and chronic pain. And I have, clients who say the same thing, like they have chronic headaches or they have constant pain, they have arthritis pain, or just things that they've been taking medication for years that doesn't help. And they start doing Reiki on a regular basis and they're like, man, it's just crazy to them too, like how fast it works, how you really start to feel better. I don't know, it's just like I said, like it still just blows my mind sometimes. I'm like, wow, that worked really fast, that was awesome. And I think the best thing about Reiki is that you don't have to, like, you can focus on a specific point or spot, but the energy goes where the energy is needed, So sometimes it'll help things that people don't, they're like, wow, I didn't even realize how much that was bothering me until it didn't hurt anymore. And I'm like, oh, well, we weren't even focused on that, but I'm glad it helped. Okay, so a typical first degree Reiki class consists of the story of Reiki, which I have on here, and I kind of should have put these in better order, but here we are. The 5 principles of Reiki, hand positions for self-treatment and the treatment of others, 4 initiations or attunements from a qualified Reiki master, teacher, and hands-on experience. Reiki is not a religion, but more of an art that is passed from master to student. So the origin of Reiki, Mikao Usui was born in Japan, the modern prefecture of Gifu, in August of 1865. I'm probably slaughtering that name, but After many professions, he studied Zen, searching for enlightenment. In 1922, after fasting on Mount Karama, Kyoto, he attained enlightenment and realized he had been given an ability to heal. Usui named his healing ability Usui Reiki Ryoho Gakkai in Tokyo. He established the Gokai, 5 principles, and the Reiki training method. Mikao Usui was invited to teach and offer Reiki treatments throughout Japan. In 1925, Shujiro Hayashi becomes one of Usui's 21 students who received Reiki master training, also called Shinpaiden. He in turn trained Hawayo Takata, who was from Hawaii. She brought Reiki to the Western world. She initiated 22 people into Reiki masters before her death in 1980. So when I was going through my attunements, my Reiki master talked about when Usui started doing the Reiki, he was in a village of like really poor people and they didn't have good medical care. And a lot of people were like broke and starving because they had different ailments and different problems and sicknesses and they couldn't work. They were unable to work. And so after he had his enlightenment, he went down to the village and he started treating people. And at first, he was doing it for free. He wasn't charging people. And he was healing all these people. But then he realized that those people weren't going to work. Like they still weren't doing anything to better their lives. He felt like because they were getting the treatment for free. So he decided from that point that in order to do Reiki, you have to, there has to be some form of payment. So, and it doesn't necessarily have to be monetarily, you know, it can be in trade, it can be in, like for me, people in my family, the trade is them healing and the love that I get from them from healing them, you know, that's my payment, you know, for them. Um, and so, and then he when Hawaii Takata brought it to the Western world, that's when Reiki really became, really started to take movement, you know, in the Western, because of course, you know, back then people were still very integrated into Western medicine and they were like, man, okay, like this is some voodoo witch shit, you know. But as time went on, then they were like, oh, okay, well, you know, this really works and it really goes where it's supposed to and does what it's supposed to do. So it's not known exactly how Reiki works. Practitioners believe disease or dis-ease occurs whenever the flow of life force energy becomes disrupted. The practitioner lays their hands onto themselves or another person, and as Reiki flows, the energy channels become attuned and aligned, improving health and enhancing quality of life. A Reiki treatment follows one to tap, allows, I can't read either, a Reiki, let me try that again. A Reiki treatment allows one to tap into the unlimited universal life force, energy to heal energy channels. Reiki can be applied to adults, children, animals, and plants. My animals, I'll tell y'all right now, do not like it. Reiki always works for good, therefore cannot cause harm. My animals, my pit bull has cancer, and I've tried many, many times to do Reiki on him. And when I do Reiki, my hands get like super duper hot. Like they are like hot, hot. And I think that's what he doesn't like. I don't think it's necessarily like the feeling of the energy or whatever he's feeling. I think it's the fact that my hands get so hot, he gets uncomfortable because like I'll start to sweat, you know, I'm like, oh my God, you know, like I get so I'm sure with fur, he's like, okay, lady, if you could stop, that'd be great. Thanks. And then my cat doesn't like it either. He always moves away from me whenever I start. Well, my male cat, when our female cat was alive, oh my gosh, she would like get in my lap and she loved it. Like she wanted me to do it all the time. But my male cat's like, nope, no thanks. Yeah. So, I think that was the end of the slide. Sure was. Okay. So, but I'm gonna put these up on the in the files on the YouTube thing so you guys can use them. And I didn't add I meant to add the stuff for like the paperwork that I use whenever I'm doing an assessment, and I'll add those to the files as well. But this is just like, just an overview of each chakra, the element, the sound, the emotion, what body and organs it can affect. And then for me, um, I always like to be able to see, what is going on when it's balanced and what's going on when they're blocked, or if they're overactive or if they're underactive. It's really crazy because um, there's so many different things with the chakras that, like, if I'm using my pendulum and I'm going over the chakras, and I'm checking them to see if they're open or closed, or like what's going on. There's like so many that they don't even include with this, that I actually just happened to come across on my own in a book that Kat Fowler, that I was reading about energy healing. And she talks about, like, they can be too masculine, they can be too feminine, they can be too open, they can be too closed, they can be too, and I was like, oh my God, like this is so much, so much information, which is why I'm like, I'm still learning. So I don't even, at this point know if I'm qualified to be teaching Reiki, but but here we are. Um, so I guess that's it. Like, I'll upload the paperwork to the files and stuff, unless you guys have questions or comments or.
This chart would be good if we could read it. It's very unclear.
Yeah, it's a little fuzzy, but the ones that I'll upload, I'm actually going to scan. These I just like use like the top scanner thing, so they're a little bit blurry, but the other ones that I'll scan will be better. And then, like I said, like I have these, like I do these are like, oh, well, because of that damn background, I don't think you can't see it. Anyways, there's like chakra assessments, and then like objectives, like symptoms. There's affirmations. So if I'm doing a Reiki session and like somebody's throat chakra is closed, then there's affirmations that I'll have them go through, um, just to like try to open it. So I'll have them say, like, in their mind, like, I live my truth, I communicate my truth, I am my truth. And I'm always like, you don't have to say it out loud. If you feel weird about it, like, you can just say it in your head. But usually once they start doing that, like, that chakra will start, that pendulum will start moving, and then you can see how it opens up. So I don't even know how long. Oh, well, like 20 minutes.
I was gonna say, I am like literally blown away. Literally. I just started a random book that popped up on my Audible. What was it, Monday? And I haven't been able to stop listening to it, and I bought it in paper form. But it's called Hidden Sacred Knowledge by Dolores Cannon.
Oh, I
And
love Dolores Cannon.
you're not like everything that you just talked about, that book, like, she does past life regression hypnotherapy, and basically the book is highlighted moments of proof of the energy being our main source from before ancient times. Like
Yeah.
we're talking before everything.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'm just like listening to you and you being like, it blows my mind sometimes how it when it works. I'm like, girl, no, this is what we are. This is what we're made of. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I love it.
I know. Like I said, I mean, I love, well, and I had like my best friend, she was having issues with her elbows too. And so I just like maybe 2 times I did Reiki on her elbows, like 2 times. And then she came over like, I don't know, a couple of days later and we were hanging out and I noticed that she wasn't like, like every time she did something, I was like, hey, how are your elbows feeling? And she was like, oh my God, they don't hurt at all. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's crazy, right? And she's like, it is. Oh my God.
Well, and
Can you do Reiki on my head?
Yeah, I
girl,
totally could. I could do
I know,
My
distance
freaking
Reiki.
head is done in this week, let me tell you.
oh,
I need some too, please. Thanks.
I can send some distance Reiki for sure.
Yeah.
Would you do Reiki
After we
on a
get off,
person's
yeah.
head for headaches?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's been a week, so just rushing around. My dad had open heart surgery and had a stroke on the table, and then my other dad had a heart attack, and then I have three. I have 2 stepdads and my biological dad, and then my other one has Parkinson's, and he's not doing so good. So
Oh
I'm not really
gosh.
sure what's going on. Like, I don't know why you get like, let's not take them all out at once. Can we just settle down? So yeah, it's been a week. So I'm just
Oh
trying
my
to,
gosh.
trudge
Yeah,
through.
I can definitely send you some
Yeah. Prayers,
Reiki.
whatever you got. I'm
You're like,
down
I'll
for
take it all
whatever
at this
this week
point.
is. Send it all. Yeah. It's
Oh my gosh.
it's been a bullshit couple of days, so it's for sure. So, and then I'm, just trying to make the kid's birthday be decent. So yeah.
When you're all stressed out and
Right? Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, I didn't need to dye my hair. It's just turning white on its own.
The gray's
I had,
coming in.
Yeah.
I
I
know.
had a couple of questions for you, Katie.
Mhm.
Are you currently a master Reiki?
No, I'm just a level 2 practitioner.
Okay. How many levels are there?
So there's 4 levels. So you have Reiki 1, which is basically just the initiation. It's your first attunement that gives you the ability to channel Reiki. And then the second level gives you basically a little more channeling power, but you also learn to use the symbols. So, which we'll get to those at some point. But there's three main symbols that you have to memorize that you use when you're channeling Reiki. And then level 3 is basically, I mean, from what I've read and how I kind of feel about it, I think level 3 is just more of the same. You can do another attunement if you want to at level 3. But I think it's more just about really learning and practicing Reiki. And then the 4th level is becoming a master.
So
Okay. Okay.
just real quick, do you
Um,
want, I can stop recording real quick.
Oh yeah.
I have something to say about that. All right.
Okay.